Hello, my lovely ladies. Hi. I am doing a little video for my on fire clients, my midlife ladies that would like to get themselves feeling awesome and learn about nutrition and food before they go into a fat loss phase. So after the 6 weeks, they will have all the knowledge in the world. They will have improved their sleep, they will have improved their water, their daily steps, their exercise, and their habits, that they'll be absolutely raring to go with the fat loss. I am giving them some top tips on nutrition this week. This is week 1. We just started today, giving them Monday the 29th of September, giving them some top tips on nutrition. And today I'm going to speak about the top secret thing that you can do to free up some brain space when it comes to nutrition. I'm only joking, it's not top secret. I hope I was just trying to be a wido there. But let's be honest, right? Us midlife women, we can overcomplicate a lot of stuff because we overthink stuff. We're maybe slightly paranoid about offending people, or we care too much about what people think about us. So one of the things we do with nutrition is that we treat every night as if we need to have some gourmet meal or some Pinterest worthy plate of food, and we think that we actually need to turn into MasterChef every night, because if we don't, we're a failure. Well, that is a pile of shite. What we are aiming to do is come up with the simplest, easiest, most effective strategy that we can for fat loss to save brain space. Because let's face it, if you're a midlife woman, right, you might not actually feel like you've got very much brain space at some points. Most of the time, yes. And the last thing we need to do is to be completely overthinking our nutrition. So we want to keep our nutrition as simple as possible. Therefore, it gives us the freedom, because we'll have some options. So we've still got the freedom to choose, but it's also going to make eating like this sustainable for the rest of your life. Because you all know I am not a let's do a 6 week fat loss challenge type coach. This is for life. As far as I'm concerned, if you come and work with me for fat loss, it should literally be the last time you ever need help to do it, because I am going to tell you everything that you need to know. All right, I don't say it now, but I am very aware, and I'm still trying to cut back on my use of all right, which is hilarious because the amount of swearing words that I use when I speak. But I just find the all right thing very annoying. Anyway, got some topics for you, got some pointers for you. I'm going to tell you the best way to do it, and then I'm going to try and elaborate. All right. Fuck. So the best thing, the easiest thing to do for nutrition when you are trying to change the way you're eating, as in be more aware of your nutrition and make healthier choices, and or for fat loss, is to pick a couple of different ideas for each meal and basically eat them. Like I said, it's not top secret. This is not rocket science. So, couple of items for your breakfast, a couple of things for your breakfast. I'll tell you what I eat as well most of the time. A couple of things for your breakfast, 2 or 3 different things for your lunches, 3 or 4 or 5 different things for your dinners. Yeah, Monday to Friday, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to eat these same foods Saturday and Sunday, that is cool. And I did do that for a very long time when I first started, because I didn't trust myself to not eat them. So I didn't trust myself to not go into full-on binge mode at the weekend. So I just ate the same things basically Monday to Sunday, but I had a couple of variations of each thing. So if you can narrow it down, you will take away decision fatigue or decision paralysis. Can you imagine coming home at night and having 7 ideas that you've thought about for your dinner that night, and you're going to have to pick one of them, dig out all the ingredients for your cupboards or your fridge or whatever, and then stand and cook it? Like literally, how many slices of bread and butter would you have eaten by the time you'd actually figured all of that out? So keep the choices to a minimum. For example, 2 to 3 for your breakfast, 2 to 3 for your lunch, 4 to 5 for your dinners. Now you can vary them every day. I wouldn't really suggest that. You can vary them every week. Or you can just eat the same thing till you get scunnered, which is, to be fair, is what I tend to do for my lunches anyway. So you want consistency as opposed to variety. So you do want variety to a certain extent. So just say, so for example, for the last 6 months maybe, myself and my husband Cal have pretty much been eating for our dinners, usually Monday to Thursday, chicken breast cut up into chunks or chicken thighs cut up into chunks, marinated in some kind of spice, herb mixture with salad. That is pretty much what we've been eating Monday to Thursday for the last 6 months. So the consistency and the variety, the consistency is pretty much the same. But sometimes we go wild and we change up the spice that we put on the chicken. I know, it's like knicker gripping excitingly. But never underestimate, we have a selection of, excuse me, 7 or 8 different spice mixtures, which we put on the chicken with a little bit of oil, olive oil, and pop it in the air fryer. And the salad is not just lettuce and tomato and cucumber, because that would be quite boring. We have sweet corn, red onion, carrots and tomatoes, sliced peppers, cucumber, lettuce. And then we have a variety of sprinkles. So we have some bacon bits, we could have some crispy fried onions. These are all bought, by the way, salad sprinkles just out the supermarket. We mix up the dressing, we have Caesar dressing, we have other kind of, I can't remember what other kind of dressings, because we do pretty much eat Caesar dressing because we like it. And then we have some cheese. So this is all weighed out. So like, I'm speaking cheese, I'm speaking about 10 grams of grated cheese. So don't be thinking that it's super calorific. It's not, but it gives us the, even though we're eating pretty much the same thing, chicken and salad, the sprinkles on the salad will change, the dressing on the salad will change, the vegetables in the salad will change, and the spice mix on the chicken will change. So that is the biggest decisions that we have to make when we come home at night, so that we don't just decide to patch it because we don't have a clue what we're doing. All right, so that would be a variety, right? Also, sorry, food prep as well. So you're never going to wing fat loss, right? You're never going to wing improving your nutrition. You're never going to manage it if you are being wild and chaotic. If you want to be wild and chaotic, I don't know, get dressed up and go on a night out, put a cape on when you go to the supermarket, do something mental. Don't be wild and chaotic with your nutrition. You need to plan. But that doesn't mean that you need to plan out 7 days of meals, stand and prep 7 days of meals, put those 7 days of meals in your Tupperware tubs and put them in the fridge, because I have tried that in the past, and usually by the time I get to Wednesday or Thursday, I cannot face eating whatever I've prepped. Firstly, because it's been sitting in the fridge for 3 or 4 days, and that does admittedly give me a bit of the gip. But I'm also not very good at eating exactly the same thing. So if I had an hour on a Sunday, I would stand and make a massive pot of chilli, portion that up into 7 Tupperware tubs, put them in the fridge, right? There is no danger I'm going to eat that past Wednesday, and that would be a struggle. So have a think about the different options that you can have. We know, especially in this On Fire group, that we are working on the Eat Well plate. So we are working on a quarter plate of protein, a quarter plate of starchy carbs, half a plate of fruit and veg. So make sure you have different vegetable options. If you're going to eat protein, starchy carbs, and fruit and veggies for the next 7 days, make sure you have a variety. Get some tinned vegetables in, get some frozen vegetables in, get some fresh fruit and vegetables in. If your protein is chicken, but you can't face chicken for 7 days in a row, then mix it up and make sure you've got some other proteins in the freezer or in the fridge. You can sort your carbs out. You can decide that you're maybe going to have pasta on Monday, you're going to have rice on Tuesday, you're going to have a wrap on Wednesday, you're going to have a baked potato on Thursday, you're going to have couscous on Friday, for example. So it's literally this a different variation of the same meal, but enough to keep you interested, but not enough that you actually have to stand and think and prep for 40 minutes before you actually eat your dinner every night, because that's never going to happen. So if you're a bit like me and you're not really into doing the prep on the Sunday for the next 7 days, then you need to think about having the stuff in the house that you need for your 2 options. Another example, my breakfasts when I'm in the gym, which is pretty much 4 days of the week, 4 mornings of the week, I eat my breakfast in the gym out of Tupperware tub. So my breakfast options are baked oats or overnight oats. So they pretty much have the same ingredients. So I will always have porridge oats in the house. I'll always have Greek yogurt in the house. I'll always have jam in the house, because I might need to flavour my Greek yogurt with jam if it's in my overnight oats. I'll always have some kind of fruit in the house that I can put in my baked oats or my overnight oats. Sometimes fresh raspberries in the fridge, but usually frozen fruit, like frozen cherries or frozen berries or something. I've maybe got rhubarb that I've picked out of the garden, but there'll always be frozen fruit in the freezer as well. And sometimes I go wild and put sprinkles on the top of my overnight oats and my baked oats. So those sprinkles, depending on what flavour I was having, could be white chocolate chips, dark chocolate chips, flaked almonds. Yeah, I think that's about it for my sprinkle toppings. So I will have all of those stuff in the house all the time. And in that way, if I wake up in the morning and I've got baked oats, because I've baked them the night before, I usually bake 4 portions of baked oats. Obviously, there's 5 days in the week. Sometimes I have the baked oats on my day off. Sometimes I don't. So if I wake up in the morning, I'm working in the gym and I don't want my baked oats, I've still got the ingredients in the house that I need for my overnight oats. And like we all know, overnight oats don't need to be made overnight. They can be made and eaten within 20 minutes type thing. So as long as you have the stuff in the house, then you don't feel like you need to stand and prep for 7 days food, all right? But you need to prep some of the stuff. You need to definitely plan some of the stuff. You need your basics in the house. Again, for example, my lunch, I sometimes have chicken and veg and rice. And today I had a tin of soup and a chicken sandwich. So I would always have chicken. I've always got bread. I've always got tins of soup in the cupboard. Give yourselves as much help as you can by, at the very least, having a rough plan and making sure your cupboards and your fridge and your freezer are stocked. Yeah. The most successful people for fat loss are the people that understand you need to nail the boring basics before you decide that you're going to turn into MasterChef and knock out a 7 dinner whatever every day of the week. If you think that you're going to eat something totally different at every single meal, you are literally going to tip yourself over the head with brain explosions. Boring works, definitely. People that repeat the same meals and the same snacks most of the time are the ones that stay on track, partly because you're literally following the process blindly. Secondly, it frees up the brain power to think about other stuff. And I get on fire, ladies. I understand at the moment I am asking you to do a lot and I'm asking you to focus on a lot. And because you're not used to this, it might feel like your brain's going to explode. There will become a time in the not so distant future, as in you'll be amazed at how much more you feel in control 1 week from now, because you'll understand what you can do to save your brain power. So this will become a habit that you will do without even thinking about it. Freedom is a massive thing. Food freedom is pretty much being able to eat what you choose. By that I mean not having the guilt to make you cut stuff out, not being overwhelmed because you're giving yourself too much choice. And it's just about practicing until you find what works for you and what suits for you. I am sitting here telling you what works for me, I'm also giving you some other options to think about, and I'm also encouraging you to pick something that you think sounds like you could do and would work for you and try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. The only time you're being in a diet is if you keep trying to do the same thing and it's clearly not working for you because it doesn't suit you. This is about finding out what suits you. Food freedom basically effectively comes from routine. By repeating meals, you're freeing up the energy that you need for other stuff, for life. I want you to be at the stage that you are not obsessing about food. You're not constantly thinking about what you're going to eat next. You're not constantly thinking about you need to go to the supermarket 5 times a week because you need a different item for this different fancy meal that you're having. I want you to have the brain space that your food, you just pick your food, it just becomes natural. You just choose exactly what you're going to have. And it's repetitive, and some people might say it's boring, but what boring actually is consistently trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We're going to get you a win. Yeah. Finally, the last thing I want to say about nutrition, sorry. Please remember, I'm not trying to starve you. We are not, at the moment, we are not in calorie deficits. We might be at some point over the 6 weeks, but again, we might not be. This is about giving you the confidence to make the choices that work for you, and also to give you the confidence to fuck it up a few times, because it will happen. We need to decide, we need to try different things so you can find out what works for you. Standing on a Sunday and planning 7 days of meals and putting them in the fridge so you don't have to think about them again might be the thing that works for you. Having a couple of different options with all the ingredients for those options in your cupboards and in your fridge and in your freezer might be the thing that works for you. Eating the same breakfast and the same lunch Monday to Friday, but mixing up the dinners, that might be the thing that works for you. Not eating breakfast, maybe you're not a breakfast person. Not eating breakfast and having a wee snack at 10:30 in the morning, then having your lunch, then having your dinner when you go home at night, that might be the thing that works for you. Swapping your dinner and your lunch so you're eating a more carby, higher calorie meal at lunchtime and eating a lighter dinner, that might be the thing that works for you. And that's the things that we're going to work on over these next week. All right. So don't try to be fancy. This is our first week. I'm recording this on our first day, but it's not going out on our first day. I'm going to put it out on Wednesday or Thursday. So that'll be day 3 or day 4. All right. I can't stop saying all right now. We are not trying to be Master Chef. You do not need to cook from scratch every night. If you want to, that's absolutely fine. If that's your thing, that's totally cool. But we do not need to do this. We need to use tin stuff and frozen stuff and packet stuff and fresh stuff. It's about finding out the time that you have and the inclination and the brain power that you have to prep the meals that's going to work for you. Sometimes you can prep them, sometimes you don't have to prep them. But every single meal that you're eating, I want you to enjoy it. I eat chicken, rice and veg and soup and a sandwich. If soup and a sandwich gives you the absolute vomit, I am not expecting you to eat soup and a sandwich. We need to find out what your favourite things are and then think about how we can potentially tweak them. I think I did a video earlier this week about one of my ladies loves macaroni cheese ready meal. Fantastic. I'm not going to ask her to cut that out. I am going to ask her to put some veg on the plate though when she's eating that, or to have some fruit after it for her fruit and veggie intake. So it's about making sure that you pick something that you think is going to work for you and then getting all the ingredients in the house. Whether you cook them all in a winner or whether you cook them each night, that's cool. This is what you need to find out. We want you to do as much prep as possible. So if you are going to cook when you come home every night and you know that you're going to be tired and you can't be arsed to stand and cut the broccoli on the Sunday and put that in a Tupperware tub. Everything else you can deal with. It's about finding out what suits you. You'll be amazed. I kid you not, amazed. If you can put the plan in and if you can do the prepping, you will be amazed. I kid you not, it's life-changing. How much easier improving your nutrition and fat loss feels when you can take the pressure off yourself by doing the prep. We're not aiming for perfect, never aiming for perfect. I'm aiming to get you consistent, and I'm aiming to give you the confidence to try stuff. And if it doesn't work, you just try something else. Ta-ta, my lovelies.